My name is Tolulope A, Medebem, COO and lead consultant, Astor Integrated Marketing Limited, an experiential marketing company, obviously EXMAN, and I'm also the vice president of EXMAN under the leadership of Tunji Adeyinka. It's pretty much the ability to use your five senses to experience something. So what are the five senses? Your taste, touch, smell, you see it, and you hear it. Those are pretty much the five senses. And at the end of everything, whatever experience you are creating for any activity, for any brand, what you're trying to do is to ensure that the consumer experiences it. So for instance, yes, you're advertising about a detergent and all of that. You come to an experiential activity, what do? They get you to probably see how it foams. So you actually use it. So it foams, it's not harsh on your fingers, it doesn't peel your skin and all of that. So you tell somebody else, okay, that detergent, I saw it, oh, the smell was fantastic. And when I left them, I didn't feel anything on my hand, So it's pretty much the action that endears the consumer to whatever brand or product that you're actually trying to put out there. Everything, actually, you're being paid to do something you enjoy, regardless of all the challenges in terms of timelines, deadlines, budget, financing, and all of that. You think through a process, you implement it, you actually see the process come to life, and tell me, what's not to love about it? The year 2000, and I'll always say it like that because strangely, that's how it happened exactly. Segun Giwa, my old boss in those days, he used to own, I don't know if he still runs, Reflux Production. Used to edit in Clink Studios then when I was a copper, and then from Clink Studios I actually went to work with him after. We used to do quite a lot of sports production, basketball those days, football, all sorts of things pretty much. Then I got married, 1998. Then I started working, and sometime in the year 2000, my bell rings and it's Segun, and he comes into my house. I want to speak to doctor. I'm like, what's between you and doctor? And what is he coming to speak to doctor for? He wants us to come together and work together. And I'm like, are you insane? I mean, I heard this when he was speaking to doctor. It wasn't as if he told me. And I was like, are you all right? You've come into my house to speak to my husband about my life, and all that. But yeah, that was how we started marathon events then in the year 2000. Experiential was something that was kind of like embedded in advertising generally as a whole. We had people doing stuff then. There was Kunle Onime. There was, I think it was Jeans Carnival or something that used to happen on the beach. So things were happening where I guess we hadn't cataloged it as experiential and all of that. And so we started marathon events in partnership with some South African company where I had to go to work with them and get some kind of onboarding of some sort into experiential. And this is 2022. I'm still there. I mean, pretty much 22 years of my life. Interesting. I should go into farming or something. I remember those days, like we had said earlier, when we actually started with Ultimate Search, seeing that a lot went into that, and the lot that went into it wasn't funny, it wasn't easy, it was difficult. At the end of the day, it's actually thinking through something, seeing it come to life, and come to life the way you actually thought about it, not in some abridged manner, in some reformatted manner, That is my motivation, and I have 3 daughters, and every day, stepping out every day is motivation. Thinking about them is motivation for me. Who else do I want my daughters to say that is their mentor or was their mentor when she was alive? Me now. But they might not say it. They might not think it. But at the end of the day, I really, really want it to also be a motivation for them that in what we used to call a male-dominated industry, my mom made it, is making it, and will keep making it. The thing about experiential is it's never ever the same. Day in, day out is something new. We're in the era now of digitalization, augmented reality, AIs, and all of that. Imagine all that integrated into experiential. Imagine the things that we could do. I mean, right now, there's so many conferences and all of that that I attend online. I'm actually looking forward to experiencing the real ones, actually attending one of these events and thinking through how some of these things can be implemented here in Nigeria. In my agency, quite a number of interns had come from mass communication, and when they got into experiential, they had absolutely no idea what we were talking about. They had heard about it, but it didn't make any sense to them until they actually experienced it, you know? So what we're trying to say to a younger crop of people who want to come into the marketing industry is that, you know what? Why don't you just give it a try? We had an intern who is even coming back if ASU strike continues, and when he was doing his final report, it was exciting because he had listed so many things. He said, when I got into school, I had thought about writing, I thought about broadcasting, but the experience here now has made me actually open up my mind to the fact that there could be other things I could do. And I mean, that's the appeal, or that's what we're trying to say to the young graduate out there. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be mass communication only. There are a lot of things to do out there. And like I said, come try experiential and see. You never know. You might be here for the next 20-something years like me. So that day that Segun came, I didn't know that I thought he did me dirty, but he actually did me clean. I always talk about that day. I always talk about it because I thought it was the usual patriarchy and all that. But honestly, I think that singular act has made my husband probably one of my loudest cheerleader. I'm my loudest cheerleader in all things, in everything, honestly. There was a time nobody knew who my children's mother was. All they saw was their father. Everything, at every activity and all of that. And that was because if this is what you want to do and it makes you happy, do it, you know? And I remember the early days of marathon. In those days, we had the first child and we were everywhere together. By the time the second one came, I mean, so it became almost a normal thing, and then he stopped. Because, look, go and do your thing. This is not me, you know? When I had my second baby and we had to go and pitch a business. We were waiting in the bar upstairs before we went in for the presentation, and I had to breastfeed her. And I left her in the bar and all that. And then thinking about it, it wasn't only the second one. I remember then that all my children actually went through that experience. So it's been a lot of balancing and juggling, and I guess that's why when we talked about motivation earlier, I said that at the end of the day, honestly, they have been and they'll constantly be, because after having gone through X number of years, I stopped working somewhere on the client side, essentially because I wasn't working in the bank, but I was a banker. When my children wake up, I'm not there. By the time they go to sleep, I'm not back. Weekends, I'm tired. 8 months into the job, I just said to my boss, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. And I had to stop that. And I got something that was kind of closer to them, and then had to juggle my time around school for them, pick up from school. Maybe daddy does the drop off. I do the pick up when I'm not in the country. Daddy does all that and all that. And yeah, we're here. My firstborn is 20 what? 1999. So she's 90 something, and the last one is 19. So I mean, we've done it. We're doing it, and anybody can do it actually. I hope and I believe.